We have the federal government blackout despite the 65% subsidy and the warning to discos. We decided to pick out that particular story that was reported on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Now, federal government laments blackout despite 65% subsidy, warn discos. The Minister for Power, Adelabu, has said that some discos have been rejecting the energy that is being transmitted to them from the TCN, and discos that are found wanting or participating in this particular act might face revocation of licenses. He went on ahead to state that the federal government is still at this time subsidizing electricity to as high as 65%. And so we're asking you, with all of the statements that have been made by the Minister of Power regarding the subsidy and also regarding the inadequacies of the discos to properly distribute the electricity that has been generated and transmitted through the TCN, what do you think about the strength of electricity supply in the country, especially in your area? How bad or good is electricity supply in your area at this time? What do you make of the statement by the Minister Adelabu that 65% of electricity payment is subsidized by the government? You can do this against the backdrop of how much money you have to pay for electricity. Now, do you support the revocation of licenses of non-performing discos? Do you think it's time that we start to withdraw the licenses of discos that are not performing up to par? And what other suggestions will you give on how to solve the power problem that we have in the country, aside from the revocation of licenses of the discos, aside from upping our generation, which the power minister says is going to go as high as 6,000 megawatts if everything goes to plan? What other things do you think we can do to fix the epileptic power structure that we're operating in the country at this time? And the second story for conversation this morning is the Kano State Governor, Abba Kabir, asking that the federal government or the president allows for the borders to be open to address food crisis. It says open borders to address food crisis, Kano Governor tells TINUBU. The Kano State Governor did host the presidency, and there is a national food initiative that has been launched, and Kano State is playing host to that particular initiative. And the Kano Governor is advising the presidency to allow for the borders to be open, at least temporarily, since we're not self-sufficient at this time. Allow for food to be imported into the country. Let's deal with the immediate problem of hunger, and then we can find a way around producing food that we can eat for ourselves. We can be self-sufficient, but for now, let's allow for importation. That report further advises that import duty on imported food should be suspended for now in order to cut down the cost of operation of those who import this food materials into the country. What do you think about this advice by the Governor of Kano State? Those are the two stories for conversation this morning. Let's hear from Fuhad Saheed, as is our ritual, before we open the phone lines and take public opinion. Fuhad, good morning to you again.
Well, good morning, Sage. Yes. On the first issue, again, like I said earlier in the morning, this current model is not working. I think if you have 3 layers and you have 2 out of the 3 having serious issues, because like I've said, if you look at the 3 levels, the first level of generation, yes, not doing enough, but at least from what they are even able to generate, you have the transmission lines in the transition end of it messing up completely by the epileptic nature of this collapsing tomorrow, waking up tomorrow, collapsing today, waking up tomorrow. So you can't have, for example, your grid collapsing more than 100 times in a year and expect anything meaningful to happen with power generation and transmission. And then you have the weakest of the 3 states, which is the distribution end of it. If these schools are not investing, they are not doing enough. A lot of them got these licenses out of political patronage. There's no working model, no business plan, no business investment for anything. And that's why, like I said, there's nothing different from even the old NEPA. In fact, there are people that will argue that the old NEPA is even better than them. Because what has changed? Nothing has changed. You still buy your transformer, you still buy your cable. Even prepaid meter, they are not able to distribute properly. As simple as the prepaid meter, they are not even able to handle. You just want to feast on Nigerians. So it's not even more worrying at this time that the minister is telling us that 55% of our electricity is subsidized by government. And then you have the transmission after waking up from their death, miraculously, now telling the disco take power and the school people, they are rejecting it. So how are we going to continue with that kind of, failed model. So I think the suggestion, I think a lot of experts have also agreed on this, is to unbundle what we have now. Just tear it into pieces. The smaller the better, if you understand what I'm saying. And these smaller units can now decide, based on available source of energy generation, decide on what they want to do to generate power, transmit, and then distribute. You understand? Look, Ikeja can, just Ikeja as a local government can have its own electricity company, just dealing with Ikeja alone. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at Ibadan Electric, for example. You know, the scale of operations of Ibadan Electric covers a larger part of Ogun State. Go and ask people who stay in Morszáɪṛ or Fada, Magburu, and all of those people who are under Ibadan Electric, how bad electricity supply is. When you have an electricity company working as far from Ibadan, then covering that area. Yes, there's no reason why that area cannot have its own small electricity company that generates, transmit, and distribute. And so they are able to hold them to account. You know, so but again, all of this has to go through a lot of legislative procedures, thorough willingness and commitment of government and all of that. But we cannot continue with it. If it's not working yesterday, it's not working today, it will not work tomorrow. There's no magic to it. We've lumped these things together. The national grid is the grid that must ever exist in the first place. Why do we have the national grid? What was the intention of having a national grid in the first place? And what have we gotten from having a national grid? And if you look at, because there are intentions to these things, I may not be able to discuss all this already. Why did we privatize generational part of it? We privatized the distribution. Then we left the transition to government. Why? What are the intentions of people that created this national grid in the first place? So until we do the right thing, by unbundling these things, you know, put it into smaller units, you're not going to get anywhere. I have gone countries where communities are run on solar energy. Solar. They have what you call a solar farm. And the communities basically get their electricity from solar. They have their companies are run on solar farm, supply people, and they pay. So what are we doing? We have opportunities for hydro, we have opportunities for solar, we have opportunities for wind. There's gas that we can also use. So why lump everything together and then make a mess of everything? We can't run a $1 trillion economy with this kind of problem. We have to do something different. And then on the issue of opening up of the borders, I think Nigerians have suggested it several that we should not deceive ourselves. We have an emergency, we have a problem. There might be a temporary need for us to open up our borders for food. I'm talking about food now. Because opening up the borders doesn't mean that everything has to come in. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think when it comes to food, we may be looking at a 6 month operation, opportunity for us to open up our borders, at least to allow food to come in. Most of these governors that are promising to distribute food for people, rice, greens, and all of, where would they get it? Are they importing that we don't know? Because I know that, look, if the 36 state governors are going to distribute food the way they are saying it, our local rice farmers cannot meet up their demand. And that's why people are saying that, look, this may even be the reason why the price of these things are going up. Because there's a cost push demand. Every governor now wants to distribute 10,000 bags of rice. Where would that come from? And that's why CUC has told them, maybe you should import your own and allow Nigerians to buy the local ones. Because you can not continue to, because they have the money now to buy and mop up those things because they want to distribute to people. And then, in trying to solve a problem, they are creating a bigger problem. And if you look at, there's a recent Premium Times report that talks about EFCC investigation indicting some senior customs officials making billions of naira from fraudulent, all manner of fraudulent payments on what you call a smuggling. And that some of them are starting to return money. It's a Premium Times report talking about EFCC investigation. Again, we are just deceiving ourselves. They will tell me now that our borders are closed, whereas the custom officials are making serious money. Go to the market. Are you not seeing foreign rice? How are those foreign rice coming into the country?
Well, border porosity has always been a problem of ours, Fuad.
And we have people at the border doing what precisely? Yesterday, I was talking to somebody who said that, look, he doesn't understand how rice will move from Cotonou, enter Nigeria, get to Songo, then you have custom officers going into Songo to board shops and warehouses. How did the rice get to Songo in the first place? So, I think we need to just tell ourselves the truth, really. Look, I stayed in Badagry for years, and I know what happened. Don't be deceived, though, by that they are seizing that. Now, they are not seizing nothing. 100 has passed before one is seized. I'm telling you.
Well, Fuad, let's hear what people have to say regarding the two stories that have been selected for conversation. Well, there you have it. That's Fuad's perspective on the matter. We're talking about the blackout in the country and the Minister of Power, Adelabu, saying that we might have to resort to revocation of licenses of discos, mostly because we have some discos who are rejecting the energy that is being transmitted to them from the TCN, and that is one of the reasons we're experiencing nationwide blackout. He also highlighted that the federal government is subsidizing electricity by 65%. So we want to know, is there any proof that all of this is happening? How good or bad is electricity supply in your area? What do you make of the statement that the minister have made, Adelabu, about the 65% electricity subsidy by the government? And all of this is against the backdrop of the fact that the IMF have said one of the ways we can cut down cost is to forget about subsidizing electricity, amongst other things. Also, do you support the revocation of licenses of the non-performing discos? And what are the suggestions will you give on how to solve the power problem in the country? We know there's a problem. What advice can you give if we're going to solve this problem? And secondly, we're talking about the food crisis in the country. Governor of Kano State is advising the president to allow for the border to be open in the short term. Let's import food for now. Let's take care of the food crisis for now. And then we can now start talking about self-sufficiency. But since we cannot do that for ourselves, let's allow for importation. And also, we have a human rights lawyer who further advised that we should remove import duties on imported food items. So those that are importing food, let's remove the import duties on those food items so that we can cut down the cost of operation of these individuals, and the ripple effect would affect everyone. I'll be able to buy affordable food. Those are the focus for the day. So please, by all means, feel free to call us 0913 6000 410. That's the studio line. You can also send us a WhatsApp message or a text message if you like, 0913 6000 430. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. Mainland 98.3 FM is our handle on Facebook, so you can use the live chat option to drop your submissions there as well. Let's take our first phone call for the morning. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Turn down the volume on your radio, please. Good morning.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Robert.
All right, welcome.
We are not serious in this country. When I say we, I mean those who are the aim of our fear, those who are controlling the economy of this country. So we should go to church and do that maybe because somebody says they are working on 6,000 megawatts. They should go to other countries and see how many megawatts they generate. And the grid continue to collapse every day. Somebody will collapse it. They will tell us lies. They will be discos, abinas, squadron. Go to Abia State now, see what only one person is doing. Something that a whole country cannot do. Is that not a shame? For how many years now? We continue to flog a dead horse. Every time we continue with the same problem. Every day we talk about Nigeria problem.
So what do you recommend, sir? What do you recommend we do? Is part of what we're asking. What can we do?
Is that we should not tie ourselves to the national grid. Let all the states have, their independence to generate power for themselves. That is what the president should do. You understand? Instead of tying ourselves to one national grid that will collapse 100 times, let all states generate their power. Like Abia State, Lagos State should generate their power. That is what they should do. On the border, I think the border, like Fuad said, custom will be waiting people and rights are coming in. Those customs are not serious. So I don't know why TINUBU is even closing the border where we don't have food to eat here in Nigeria. Is he happy that people are suffering? I don't understand.
Thank you very much for your submission. We appreciate it. The volume on your radio, please. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Good morning, Fuad. Good morning
to you, sir. Yes.
Yes. So, on the issue of the light we are talking about, just like the last caller said, there are so many ways to generate light now. Just like what I said, solar, wind, even garbage. Why is it that we are tied to the national grid? For 5,000 megawatts. Why are we? Why is it that Nigeria is tied to the national grid and we are not getting anything from it? Political patronage. You lost my back, I lost my back. That's just it. These politicians are not serious, honestly. Hello?
I'm with you.
The one that comes beyond getting tied to the national grid. For instance, here, you see about what they having like every time. And Ajayi Road and the evidence of Okela is not having light. What's the reason for this? And I'm sending this warning to Okela and whatever. Let them tie up their distance so that people will not descend on them one day. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We have a few messages on Facebook. Now, as much as we're calling in to highlight the problems, I would also like that we prefer solutions, as well. We've had people who say detach us or remove us from the national grid. Let individuals provide their own electricity. Let states be able to provide their own electricity. We can do that as well. I don't want us to focus too much on the problem. We know what these problems are. Let's have a solution-oriented conversation on radio today. All right. Let's look at Facebook for a bit. We have messages on Facebook coming in. We have Ihira God's Power, who's saying power supply is bad in my area. Ijayojokora. If revocation of licenses of non-performing discos will bring improvements, they should go ahead. But it's sad that the government has not added to the megawatts that it met. The power grid keeps collapsing. Mr. President should open the borders for foodstuff to come in while we go into mechanized farming. This is a message from God's Power on Facebook. Basil Chika, also on Facebook, says, in my area here, electricity supply is non-existent, and when they finally bring the light, it is low current. You will see which will end up burning your appliances. Then on the reopening of the border, if they want to do it, yesterday, TINUBU was in Mina, Niger State, saying how we would make food available when bandits are on rampage killing people. Chika Bende from Tredfair. Okay, thank you very much. Ebilade Ambo, still on Facebook, says, open the borders, allow food to come in. We won't die if we eat imported food. After all, Nigerian customs are selling confiscated imported rice at subsidized prices. All right, keep the messages coming in. We're streaming live on Facebook, Mainland 98.3 FM, or facebook.com/Mainland 98.3 FM. I'm going back to the phones now. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Pastor Ambrose.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Well, good morning.
He's with us. Please go on, sir.
No wahala. We thank God for another day.
Thank God.
Sage.
Yes.
They say they want to remove subsidy on electricity.
No, they said they're subsidizing 65%. That's what they're currently doing.
They are subsidizing. Is it anything that has to do with the common man? But when it has to do with them, the politicians, they will increase it. Abi? They don't want the poor man to breathe. They are subsidizing it by 55%. What is the standard? What yardstick did they use to measure it? Is that the problem now in this country? If we don't even have light, is it the light that we don't have that you are subsidizing? So what is what are they subsidizing? In my area now, NEPA cannot even come and distribute light bill because they are not bringing light. And you say you are subsidizing. Okay, this government should even face one or two things. Let them even face light and say, okay, we want to channel all our resources to light and agriculture. Like I said yesterday, get enough machines to plow the ground for agriculture and employ 50 million youth, according to the president, into the military, the police, and all of that. Those are the things that can assuage this country. All this padding, they are padding. There's money that they will not take to anywhere. At the end of the day, they will not even know where they kept some of them. This is they are just padding. The Nigerian leaders, they are just defaulted, wired to be wicked.
Thank you very much, Pastor Ambrose. We appreciate you for your submission this morning. Hello. Hello. All right, try to make it back if that was you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you, Pastor Peter.
Yeah. Madam Sage, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning.
What of our friend Fuhad?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Sir Fuhad, how's it going?
Fine, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, thank you. The issues we are discussing today are very genuine. When it comes to issue of food security, nothing is too much to be done. Because if a government cannot feed its people, then there is no point for the government to be in existence. Protection of life and property, safety of life and property. And if you cannot keep the life of your citizens safe by providing them food, by providing them security, then you have no need to exist. So everything that the government is doing so far, they don't mean anything as long as they cannot guarantee the production of food. So my advice is that the Asuaju government must do whatever it takes, even if it means going to places like Israel and some of these companies that have food security.
Thank you, Barrister.
Yes, they should go there.
Thank you.
Americans came one day and rescued one of the citizens was captured in Nigeria.
Thank you very much for your submission. We appreciate you. It's 2 minutes for each caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning to you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Ike from Moshe.
Nice to have you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Fuhad.
Yes, sir.
Thank God for having somebody like you in the studio. Actually, when you talk about electricity issue, it is very simple. But unfortunately, we have politicians who make things hard for us, or make things look as if it's very difficult, it's not easy or possible to achieve. If I may tell you this, last month I got a report from my village in Imo State that a young man who established a cassava plant, a processing plant, is now generating light for the village, part of the village. They are enjoying 24 hours light, and they installed a prepaid meter to each every house who needed it. They'll be paying to that company. And I don't think they're doing badly. That is one of the things. Look at the one that happened at Aba. There was, when Professor Naji was the minister, you see the politics they played with that office. They didn't allow him to work. My brother, I don't know who did Nigeria this. They brought sentiment, they brought politics, and these people are not politicians. They are professionals. Somebody like him, Naji, who the U.S. is cherishing, we got him here, we treated him as if, and thank God, he did not allow that dream to die. He and there has an environment that accommodated him. Now, we are turning into the food issue. How can we have enough food? Like the president was telling us that he can settle from the center of the whole thing now. Not telling us as if he's an opposition party talking. He's the driver of the ship or the captain of the ship. Let him do whatever he has. All this rhetoric is getting us tired. And all our politicians are not being held responsible for their actions and inactions.
Thank you.
All the promises they made before coming to office, none of them.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello.
At this angle, they're not getting it right. So why don't we hire the foreigners for 10 years?
Yes, that's concession.
I think maybe seeking for help. That's what he's saying. If Nigerians can't manage the power sector,
if you hire for 10 years, you've pretty much concessioned.
Well, if that's going to give us light, why not? Again, we are not able to do it. So if we need to get foreigners to help us fix it, why not?
Okay. Let's go back to taking more phone calls.
Well, you know what? They will come here and still find the same problem. It's not just about the facilities or what we're putting in place. What of the politics of it? Look, for everything we play politics. I told you there's
all the red tape.
There's a politics behind national grid. It's just that I don't want to discuss it here on radio.
Don't discuss it.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
We're with you. Morning.
I really know people in the leadership in this country. I don't know.
Please. All right, welcome. Go ahead.
The leadership in this country, for the time immemorial, I think they don't see, they don't hear, they know they see. They travel abroad, they enjoy all these things there. They feel like everything. They come to Nigeria, they don't see implement single one. And are they cost? When they are outside the government, they will be criticizing government. They are now there to do something they cannot do it. Before Buhari left, he said that every state can generate a light for their state. What is the problem of governors that they cannot implement that? Look at Abia. A single person there that generates a very humongous light for the whole state. A whole country cannot do it. Not that we don't have the resources to do it. What is the problem of Nigeria? Are we sick? Or our leaders, are they sick for head?
It's okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. As much as we appreciate your opinion, I mean, choice of words, very, very important. Yeah. Thank you for calling. Let's go to WhatsApp for a bit. I'm doing the best I can to make sure we don't have too many pending messages. So I'll just do this, as much as I can. Hi, Mainland FM, the Power Minister, or should we say the IMF Power Minister, who keeps insisting and emphasizing on subsidy removal stylishly, should understand that you can remove subsidy when there has been constant light for like a year in the whole country. With that being said, I was still say that Nigeria is suffering from resource problem. The resources we have is the source of our downfall due to greed and corruption. Why can't this country just make use of its resources? We have wind, solar, hydro, kinetic means, etc., even biotechnology. These cows that are roaming around and they are grazing in people's farms, their dung can be used as a source of profits that will be sold to power companies to produce biogas, which in return is converted into energy. We can never open the borders because of the power exporters. He mentioned a few individuals, but I will not do that. Now, let the government fight insecurity, eradicate these emboldened killers once and for all, and there will be food. This is a message from Sean on WhatsApp. Thank you very much, Sean. We appreciate you. We have another one here. Good morning, Madam Sage. This calls by the Kano State Governor and other Nigerians for the opening of the borders, albeit temporary, is in order. In view of the present high cost of food and other essential goods, it's very obvious that people are dying of hunger, deterioration of health and poor standard of living. Asiwaju Tinubu's government should yield to the people's demand and do the needful in whatever strategy to ameliorate the sufferings of the masses. Even at the moment, it's a known fact that Nigerian borders are very porous because of corruption and compromised officials involved. Essential goods should be allowed to enter Nigeria, at least for now. Noah from Igondo, food, basically. That's what the Kano State Governor is saying, just food, actually. Good morning, Sage and Fuad. Federal government should allow us to rest. It's because they subsidize electricity. That's why we haven't been having electricity. There's the issue of food shortage, and the only thing the president will do is open the border for the moment. I'm generous from Shomolu. Thank you very much. Let me take one more, go back to the phones. Good morning, Mainland FM crew. The advice given to the president by the governor of Kano State is an advice of the hour. The president do not need soothsayers to tell him to open the border for food, especially rice, since the available food in the country is very expensive. But it's one thing to advise someone, it's another thing for the person to take the advice. For the discos and gencos, the problem is the federal government. Let every state have the ability to generate and distribute power, should they be given the ability to do so. Benjamin from Shogunle, thank you very much. I thought they agreed to do that. I mean, that was part of the things that they resolved.
Reforms,
with the constitution review, among other things, devolution of power. They've allowed them to do that, right?
I think there are still procedures to this thing, some legislative procedures, because again, a lot of the discos still have subsisting licenses, and you may have to pay compensations, do a whole lot really to revoke some of these licenses. Again, this thing was done in a hurry during the Goodluck Jonathan government. It was supposed to, towards the end of his government, that this whole arrangement came up. And people have been asking, what's in the contract really? What are the clauses that could lead to revocation or could hamper you from revoking licenses and all of that? But the government has all of the opportunity to look into this. What Nigerians want is just power. Just solve the problem.
Makes sense. Thank you for that. Hello.
Good morning to you, Sage. How are you?
Very well.
I'm engineer from Yaba here.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Concerning power, I'm an electrical engineer. And the way I saw this government going about the policy they are coming up with is appalling. When you get to a ministry or any establishment, you look at what is going on. What is the liability? What is the asset? From there, you form your family, you produce your policy formulation, and then you just work. When they said they now realize that they have already done the budget of this year, because they realized that we are owing their counterpart funding to the tune of 1.3 trillion naira, and the money to import to tax to the tune of $540 billion. Then they made the budget of 560 billion naira. Can you reconcile that? It means they are not ready to work. It's just noise all over the places that we are experiencing. When they are now suspending this, there is 9 months into the government.
we don't expect all this kind of a thing, and that is why we are having all these problems. They are now using it to vandalization and all that. They are not ready for this job. The earlier they sit down, call the experts to work with them, and then marshal their point to really give government in Nigeria good governance, be better for all of us. We are not expecting this. Then concerning the food issue, it's not pronouncement we want. Do your own work. Let us see it working. Because you can even pronounce it to people. Are we campaigning? If I will give, I will do that. Whereas we are seeing nothing. People are suffering in the street. We are tired of all these things. Let them be humble instead to accommodate other people that are experts. Let nobody continue to do. They are only giving room for people to come up with something. They did something in Aba. They do this thing in Aba. We know what is in the history. People are carrying a stadium generator to their house when they are made ministers. And they want us to forget that.
Thank you very much.
And that is why they are just giving room to other people. There are white paper that some people committed. They mess up with the national fund.
Thank you very much, Engineer Nee. We appreciate you. Hello.
𝐴𝐺 Babalola.
Good morning, sir.
Fuhad.
Morning, sir.
I greet all of you. You are doing well.
Thank you,
Babalola, thank you very much. God bless all of you.
And you too.
You see, this NEPA, let them take away the subsidy now. We need electricity. Yes. Japan is something to food. We need food. We want to feed ourselves. Look what happened in Nigeria yesterday. I was very happy yesterday when I see them say tractor that I'm hiring for many weeks ago. That all the state governments to do the federal, the state, conjoin together and give us something we can eat. Within 3 months, we can have a maize and other things. You let them go back to the land, mechanized farming is the key. And what Mr. President said yesterday about the with the farmer is to settle them, let peace reign in this country. And for the electricity, since 2013, when they sold this to their crony, that's where the problem lies. When they generate about 13,000 megawatts, what of distribution? That's where the problem lies. You can't 3,000, 4,000, 1B and 4B. It's how many years? When so country like South Africa is talking about 30-something megawatts, 40,000 megawatts in Nigeria. So the problem now is for the Mr. President to find out. And I want the journalists in Nigeria to find out too. They can't give it to those then. That has not last. Or is that a clause that we can never revoke their licenses? Let us give it to reputed organizations that give us prepaid meter that can supply that can build more distribution center in Nigeria.
Thank you.
That's why I need this morning.
Twice, thank you for calling. Hello.
Hello, good morning, French.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Malam Salau.
Yes. Good morning, Malam Salau.
Fuhad, are you thinking about lights, sir?
Yes.
Because I just turned in and I had people talking about that. Fuhad, the way this issue of lights is, there will never be a solution to it. There will be any solution to this issue. My reason is very simple. This is the only country that some group of people will sit down and auction the assets of this country and use Nigerian money and buy those assets for themselves. And using our own money also to target that business. You understand? Hello, sir. If you listen to El-Rufai's screening during screening or Mr. screening, the way he sound like somebody that if he get in, he will definitely bring some certain changes, drastic changes into that sector.
Yes,
but when they see that this guy will give them problems, because he knows how those things are supposed to be. So they allow things to happen to be, to confirm? No. It's just to confirm it because he gives them problem. You understand? And Jonathan makes it very clear. I remember during a media chat with Jonathan, the acting to the same that people understand that all these discourse were being told to former president or whatever. He said, yes, they are former. They need business to make a living. And today, this is it. This is what we are facing. $15 billion was spent in Nepal. That was we are still struggling with the 3,000 megawatts. I wonder, Ford, Google it. The Kaaba, the mosque in Mecca, that mosque only has more than 2,000 megawatts of light.
Just one place.
Just one place. Now we are talking of a country that has about 250 million in average.
Thank you.
And it's struggling with the 2,000 megawatts, and you are celebrating.
Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're
not celebrating.
Fuhad, you always make me reevaluate some of my decisions in life with the things I used to send to you.
I just have to help you.
So
think about some of
Fuhad,
these things.
and I will mention him by name, decided to drag. Apparently, we're having a conversation about how much power South Africa generates, and it generates as much as 58,000 megawatts, and their primary source of energy is coal. And then I took it upon myself to check if we have coal reserve, and we have a tremendous amount of coal reserve.
You know, I didn't talk about coal as a source of power generation.
So I had to check for them to generate 58,000 megawatts, what is their source? Turns out it's coal. Then I checked how much coal does Nigeria have, and we have a lot, but we're doing 4K.
It's okay.
Let's go to Facebook. I'm going to read the messages that we've gotten so far. All right. So we have Prince Leo Ozoma on Facebook who says, Sage and Fuad, good morning. The gains derivable from electricity supply cannot be overemphasized. Therefore, I see the payment of subsidy to the discos as a good thing. And if the discos are not doing what they are paid for, please wield the strong hammer. That is why you are the government. Again, Nigerians are tired of listening to excuses of why things are not being done as in other places. Again, liberalization of the power sector is key and must be done immediately. For food importation, government should consider certain staple food items to be imported into the country to ameliorate the high cost of food until the farmers will go back to their farms safely to start harvesting. If there is no guarantee of the farmer security, government agents and security agencies on our roads with horrible taxes and levies on the transportation of food items, then we're not getting it right. Leo Ozoma, thank you very much. We have Patrick Obiazo who says, if we can open the borders for imported grains, why can't we open the same for importation of food to hungry Nigerians? Oh, he's referring to Ukraine. It's not like we imported, it was a donation.
But at least it came from somewhere.
Yes.
But we didn't pay, right?
We didn't pay.
Okay.
Moving on. Olumuyiwa on Facebook says, hold on a second, I'm so sorry. Good morning, Mainland FM. For the focus today, the thoughts of revoking licenses of non-performing discos and gencos should be rightly implemented when discovered by serious government officials in a serious country. If former President Buhari could see the problem in the power sector, especially in privatization, and all he could do was to be lamenting, and also this new government is lamenting, it shows the country is in a cage. We now have a government that is lamenting on fixing power problems, security problems, etc., despite having all it takes to bring normalcy to these sectors. We're tired of hearing stories from the government, and anyone who doesn't have solution or is afraid to take bold steps to fix our challenges should step aside and stop playing politics with our welfare. Mr. President should stop listening to those greedy individuals advising total closure of borders. Nigeria is big enough a market to allow both locally produced food and foreign ones to sell. They should also open borders to allow cement to come in. We're tired of all of this monopoly of the economy. Let me go to WhatsApp and then I'll go back to the phones. Let's do that because we have a few messages on our WhatsApp platform as well. Kayode from since Discos is not able to utilize what the Gencos has sent out. However, the best solution is for regional generation or local government council solution for electricity distribution from the Gencos. All right, thank you very much, Kayode. Also on WhatsApp, we have good morning, Sage and Fuad. on the discourse, it's high time the federal government completely revoked the licenses of companies in order to save Nigerians and our businesses from unnecessary electricity bondage. Discourse are not effective and they are deluding and irregular in their services. On opening the borders, honestly, I still don't understand what the government is waiting for. Nigerians are hungry, they're dying and they're losing their minds. So do we really need to wait for everyone to die before we do the needful? Let the government open the borders and end scarcity of food tormenting Nigerians right now. Honestly, our leaders are not just serious and they're playing with us. Nigeria is okay. Thank you very much. I cannot take your last statement, but Damilola from Alaba, I appreciate you for your message. Let's go back to the phone line. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Damilola.
All right, welcome, Damilola.
Yeah, I want to speak on two topics of discussion. Number one, opening of the border, the Kano state government is on point. Yes. And it shouldn't just be for rice, but even for cement and every other thing. Because it's obvious that we don't even have enough to cater for the local market. So it's bringing them in. Now look at this. Now, then the federal government came another and said every smuggled rice should be come back to the other. So why not just open the border so there won't be need for smuggling? It's just common sense. That's the truth. When the border is open, anybody can go there, buy and come. If you go to Badagry and you are driving, the number of checkpoints you will meet, just from Badagry beach to that bridge, Jesus is Lord. The number of checkpoints, wait carry. What is this? Just so I know, I just we just go family and things like that. So if they can do this, there will be no need for smuggling, and they don't even put our customs at on that way to be killed by smugglers and things like that. So that one is that. Then also we'll be saying this, unbundling the power sector, it shouldn't be something we need to struggle with. We know there is a contract signed, but the market can be opened. Let these whatever discos be on ground. We could have Fuhad disco, Babalola disco, Sage disco. Yes, open the market. So when the Ikeja electricity won't just supply me. If I have about 5 or 6 other entities supplying me, Ikeja will sit up. You get what I'm saying? So whatever contract they sign, they refuse to tell us, which is their problem. So our own problem is open the market. If you have the money, go into it. And most companies doing IPPS, stop limiting them to an area. Exactly. Allow them to expand. Stop saying they can only supply industrial houses. They cannot supply residential. Open the market. Then lastly, let me quickly say this on Batinaji. Number one, ABBA project is not a state government project. It's owned by an individual. And it has not even started. Yes, we need to understand that. Not started. It's a work in progress, which is a very good thing. And somebody called and said they never allow Batinaji. I'm sure the person does not love Batinaji than some of us. Yes. But when you are involved, you know the laws. Mr. Fuhad, please, you can do a research on this. So maybe next time, or maybe one of your programs, you can bring it up for discussion. Why was you removed as Minister of Power? Yeah. Why would you allow a company which you have interest in be a part of people that will bid for something you are trying to bring on board? You know the rules. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. You know the rules. Yeah. That was why it was removed. So Jonathan wanted him to stay, but the noise was not too much. No wonder PDP don't even have to be in opposition. The thing is that the APC had to be in opposition. That guy in immigration, interior, he would have left. Them shouted and he had to leave. Because his own country was also, his own company was involved in bidding for some of the things they would have used of power. Sincerely, if that thing had succeeded, maybe the issue of light, we won't be talking about it. We would have moved to something else.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. Thank you so much.
The Batinaji conversation is very complex, I must say, because again, this was a man that had a lot of ideas about how to fix the power problem. But again, there were allegations of there was supposed to be a bid really for a whole lot of things, and vested interest and all of that came in, and he was actually forced to resign. He actually even resigned. Not that he was sacked. He was forced to resign. And of course, the stories have continued to go on. It was politics and all of that and what have you. So, but again, I don't think when it comes to solving the power problem, it's not just about an individual. It can't be only Batinaji that has the idea to solve our power problems. The solutions are there. It's just for us to have the willingness to do the right thing.
All right, thank you very much, Fuad. In case you're just joining us, this is Mainland Focus on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is 𝐶 Babalola. Fuhad Saheed is with us in the studio. We're focusing on two primary stories. We're talking about food and we're talking about power. Of course, these are very pivotal to any economy. We have the Minister for Power, Adelabu, saying that the government is subsidizing electricity by 65%, and discos who are non-performing might face license revocation. All of these are steps to which we can repair our epileptic power supply in the country. And so we're asking that in addition to all of this recommendation by the Minister of Power and them revoking the licenses of discos amongst other things and the 65% subsidy, what else do you think they can do to ensure that we have stable electricity? And with regards to food, like I said, some sort of national food initiative has been launched, and it's domiciled, or what's the word now, in Kano State, or the Kano State is playing host to that particular initiative. And the Kano State governor is advising the president to allow for the borders to be opened temporarily to allow for importation of food until we're able to provide food for ourselves. So we're asking you, what do you think about the advice by the governor and others who have said that remove import duties on imported food, at least staple food for now, so that we're able to take care of the food crisis that we're facing in the country at this time? That's a summary of the stories that we're reviewing this morning on Mainland Focus. You can reach us via the phone line 0913 6000 410. That's how you call us, or send a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0913 6000 430. We're also streaming the program live on Facebook. So go to our Facebook platform and our YouTube platform as well. The handle is the same, Mainland 98.3 FM on Facebook and on YouTube. Use the live chat option to drop your submission. I'll take a phone call or two. Go to WhatsApp, go to Facebook, and then we continue that cycle. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, John Peters.
Yes, to provide solutions that the matter is already on ground, that we need a way out of it. And I have a solution.
Okay.
And that solution I will be giving to government this morning is simple. Run Nigeria on merit. Everything will die a natural death. In as much as we continue to run Nigeria on a political patronage, those who are competent, be there. Those who are not competent, be there. Because you helped me to win an election, be there. We are going to continue on this trajectory of complaining. But immediately we begin to run Nigeria on merit, the light will be there, the food will be there, the security will be there. Every down thing we need in as a nation will be in abundance. But if we continue to move in this trajectory of political patronage, you help me to win election, continue to be in this firm, continue to be in this organization just because of political patronage, we are not going anywhere. We will continue in this trajectory. But immediately we begin to run Nigeria on merit, where you deserve to be there, no matter where you come from. But you can do this. Be in this office. That is the only way we can make headway. Okay? So that is the only thing I will be commenting this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. We appreciate you. Hello. Hello. All right. If that was you, please make it back. 0913 6000 410. Hello.
Hello. Good
morning, Malam Salam.
Can I beg briefly, I beg, state, mention of it,
fast, please, yes.
You see, fastly, I beg. Oga Peter said that we started appointing people on merit, See, politics is a game of interest, So nobody, so far we are in a democratic government, this kind of Nigerian politics, nobody will go there on merit. That is why somebody who is a banker like Adelabu is there, because they know that he has no solution to that. That is the issue. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I like the fact that this is our own kind of politics. Yeah, so.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am. Adamifi, is that you? How are you?
How are you?
Good morning, madam.
The bill is not the billions, those custom guys.
I saw it. I saw it.
Same economic. As for food, I don't know why TINUBU is locking up everywhere. Open this thing, let it be official. Because they are still smuggling this thing inside this country, but in a crooked way. Open it. If Mama wants to go to Cotonou, which I don't even know. I don't know anywhere called Cotonou. I don't even know the road. My own is to go to market and buy. I can go there and buy and come back. Open border in Niger. Our the border you closed last July here. Open it. Let food enter. Any other places that food used to enter, let them bring you food. When they close down the Niger border, you remember thousands of trailers were at the border there. Fᴏᴜ. Do you think they didn't enter inside the country? They find their way here. And that is why food is expensive, because they will go a longer way and drive a longer way and enter. And when they bring the rice inside the country, inside the market, instead of 500, it becomes 1,000, 1,005. Open this border. And as for electricity, meanwhile, I'm enjoying life, kind of, in my area. But what I notice about some of these discos is that they don't have materials. Like in those days, NEPA people will store material in their storeroom. Even ordinary fuse, if you see the fuse they will use the fuse they use, as if it's, how do I call it, weather's something, weather's rod, you know, kind of thing. They should bring in the material things, cables, fuses, transformers, so that, you know, let this lighting go on, not for you to be storing money. If you spend money in billions and you are not putting it, what are you keeping it for?
Thank you,
yeah, they enjoy like show.
Thank you.
You're one of a few lucky Nigerians.
Hello.
Hello, Babalola. Good morning.
Mr. Peter, morning to you, sir.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Fuhad, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let me see how I can provide solution, because we have identified the problem since 2013, 2014. We have been talking the same story. See, on the power sector, my solution is revoke the license and tell electricity consumers in Nigeria that if you have not been metered, don't pay electricity. I wonder how a government can see an organization exploiting the people. Do you know that they give us the estimated bill? Last month, they started from 13,000 last year, then they raised it to 17,000, they raised it last month 24,000, and this month 27,000. And then on estimation, why can't the government stop this estimation and tell this post no more estimated bill? Nigerians, if they give you estimated bill, don't pay. You know they are relying on this estimated billing. Because like where in my house that I live, we have a prepaid. They don't get money when they don't give me light. But others, they don't give them light and they are getting their money. So stop that. That's my solution number one. And my solution number two, make sure that how can you continue to patronize a company, a contractor that is not performing? Why can't you revoke the license and give it to another person? And on the food, when you open the border temporarily, please tell the bandits to leave the farm for the farmers to go back to farm. In those days, they were exporting food and we were seeing food to eat here. We did not complain. Upward. Is it possible for Nigeria to go to another country and buy a land? They call it Nigerian land or Nigerian farmland.
No, we have
so that we farm it. If terrorists cannot let us go to our farms here. So please, if that is possible, I'm suggesting that. Let us go to Ghana or Saudi Arabia, everywhere, go and buy land and cultivate.
Thank you, Mr. Peter.
We have a better land now. So
we have arable land, so why? Saudi, do they even really have that? It's not a desert.
It's desert.
It's not a desert.
It's just empty desert.
All right, let's move to WhatsApp right now. Sage and distinguished Fuhad, I greet you meritoriously. Mr. Fuhad, happy Ramadan to you, sir.
Thank you.
Somehow in my area, we used to have power at least up to 14 hours a day, even if I put on the gen. In fact, there's light right now as I'm listening to you guys. But don't let me praise them, because sometimes they go back to their default mode. Sage, maybe you can relocate to my side in Oshodi. No, from here like this, I'm going to Canada.
Why Sage? Why do you want that to relocate to
Mr. Fuhad, I don't even know whether they should open the border or not. I just hope that the rice partnership between Lagos and Niger states will work, unlike the lake rice between Lagos and Kebbi. James Ogbonna from Oshodi. So apparently there's antecedent of collaborations like this one that was an effort in futility.
Yes, so some of these things,
Okay. Moving forward, we have here good morning crew. I want to ask a question. Can corruption fight corruption? Looking at the process of power, look at the type of people that surround the government, the people that are appointed as ministers, and even those that are in the Senate and House of Reps, etc., etc. They do not have any agenda except their own personal agenda. Thank you very much, Dayo from Fagba. It took a lot to extract that from this message. Moving on.
It's an interesting individual.
Very interesting. I mean, his commitment is I don't know, is unrivaled. To doing the same thing over and over again. We have a message here. Where is the money realized from the privatization of the old NEPA? They should use it to subsidize because that was the initial design of the system. Open the border for 6 months is my advice. A message from Amechi on WhatsApp. Still on WhatsApp, we have here, good morning, Sage, Fuad, and our listeners. These are my solutions. Nigeria has the potential to generate and distribute electricity for national consumption and for sale to foreign countries, but the corrupt people involved are the major obstacles. Boko Haram, ISWAP, and other terrorists are kidnapping people, collecting money as ransom, and even asking for jollof rice, hillocks, healthcare. Armed robbers are all over Lagos, Ogun, and Ibadan. Adeleye in Festac Extension. Adeleye, you just highlighted the problem. You didn't tell us what to do about it, but thank you very much. We have here Abraham Ayotunde from Oshogbo, Osun State. He says Nigeria's population is growing at an alarming rate. Drugs are expensive, and in 10 to 15 years, the country would hit 300 million. What will the people eat? Big population chasing fewer goods. There's no food production. There's less electricity, and there's poor educational system. This is my advice. Once your feeding and your account balance starts smiling, get a residence outside Nigeria where people live their lives normally. Good morning. He's advising relocation. Okay.
We all can relocate.
We all can't relocate, but thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Like myself, I say now we are determined to remain here.
Why are you talking to? Why are you talking to?
No, we'll talk after this.
Why are you talking? We have a message here. Hello, Mainland FM. It's quite unfortunate and quite shameful that since I was born and now I'm getting old, I have never seen stable power supply in a whole year. The only way forward is for the government to decentralize national grid and make the states to control power generation and supply in their various states. The distribution companies should be compelled to distribute prepaid meters to all their subscribers, and no customer or community should henceforth be permitted to buy any electrical materials for maintenance on behalf of the company. Any distribution company who violates any of these rules, its operations license should be revoked. On the food crisis, we have said it many times that the borders should be open for food items to come in, and so that the high prices of food can crash. If I may ask, where is the lake rice that the Lagos government used to sell to Lagosians at cheap price? May God deliver us. Tᴏᴜ or not Tᴏᴜ.
I'm sure a lot of money is went into the collaboration, Lagos and Kebbi. It was all celebrated, promoted. I think we used to get every December. They come in, you buy at reduced price. I thought that this is the critical time to really have lake rice everywhere. Unless maybe the name has changed to something else. I don't know, I'm just saying.
Perhaps. Perhaps. Good morning, Mainland FM. It's unfortunate that Ukraine, a country at war with Russia, is sending food to Nigeria, and we're happy. So Ukraine's situation is better than Nigeria. Let's continue to practice and error.
Only protecting the farming areas where farming is going on. You are not throwing the bombs there. You can see. Even at war, they have that,
There's rule of engagement now. You can't just...
Well, what's rule of engagement? Because, again, I think somehow, I don't know how Russia was able to also agree to some of these things to ensure that, food production in Ukraine is not disrupted completely by this war, because that was going to lead to
they don't have a choice because they're global powers. It would affect the whole
everybody,
world.
Yes.
So they'll be able to rein Russia into that extent.
Even to move the food out, so
the Black Sea as well. They're protecting the Black Sea.
Well behaved with that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's just finish the messages we have on Facebook. We can't take any more phone calls, by the way. I should have said that. We have less than 2 minutes, so I'm just reading the backlog of messages that we have gotten. So we have here Humphrey Dennis on Facebook, who says, good morning, ma'am and sir in the studio. If I'm to be honest with you, this government do not care. all they do is talk, and that is bad. How can someone be telling you what to do as a president? The country... Hold on. I'm sorry I lost that message. Okay, the country is passing through a lot. There's high cost of things and they're begging you to open the border. Come on. One day I hope I'll be president. Dennis from ʔᴏᴏʌ. What's wrong with telling the president what to do? I mean, that's the whole point of having an entire cabinet, right? No, he's saying that why should people be telling the president what to do? I mean, that's why you have a cabinet. You're supposed to advise the president. He's not an island.
Advise the president.
Yeah, like even the people that advise the president have aides and people that used to advise them as well. So Christopher F. Young says, good morning everyone in the studio, God bless you. Government subsidy of 65% power for us. In Nigeria, we're still buying pole, transformer, etc. And that also reminds me that this is the same country where there is no safety on the roads. There are checkpoints. I don't understand what that line is, but I was told that someone was called for capital punishment for the abductors of school students. I'm also calling for office that are not constitutional, made by Nigeria but not Nigerians, that brought them cars and other things. I understand what you're trying to say, but let's just leave it alone. Thank you very much for your participation.
We understand.
We understand you. I get it. Thank you. That's where we're in conversations for today. Luckily, I was able to clear all the messages that we got, but unfortunately, I can't take any more phone calls. We're going to go on a very brief break. Of course, we'll be back by 10 a.m., of course, to continue with conversations. But let's go on a quick break, and we'll be right back.